What up? So a little bit late this week. Not as late as Mark, per usual. Oh, look, there he is. We're already live, Mark. So
right on time.
I literally just played the intro. He's probably not even ready with his mic and shit, but we'll just keep going. Anything interesting happening to you guys?
Dude, what's with your hair? Holy shit.
Talking to both of us. We both have it, so sometimes it gets a little wacky, you know?
All right.
Wow.
Brick's got the Hitler Youth thing going on.
Look at
And Huten ist Huten Schwein. I played a game of Civ as the Germans, and I did a lot of role playing. It was very funny, but I won't get into that.
Did John ever get moved into your apartment?
He did, but apparently some hood rat took over his room for the weekend, and she just didn't leave ever.
Oh, that's brutal.
So it's like, yo, it's Monday. Can't you see I have work to do? Can you please leave my place?
She's probably homeless, knowing Denver, just looking for trash.
Wouldn't even be surprised.
No chance.
But yeah, he moved in.
The reason we're a little bit late is that I had a surprise on Friday, and now I'm a dad. So
you didn't see it coming from 9 months ago?
She was still a couple weeks early. Like, I thought that I had at least another week to get shit together and not have to scramble to get to the hospital and all that shit. But maybe more
fatherhood.
He was the Eric Andre meme, like grabbing on the fence, like, let me out. So that's what happened.
Yep. You sent us that meme and I was laughing, and then I sent the Danny DeVito crawling out of the couch meme when he was in Always Sunny.
Yeah. I have not really slept since then, so that's fun. Mark, please tell me this gets better.
Nolan was actually pretty fine the first couple of weeks we brought him home, because all they do is sleep, shit, and poop. Well, shit and poop is the same thing, and eat.
Most of the time, shit and poop are the same.
It doesn't really get better though. Here's now should actually be an easier time than it will be in like the next 6 weeks, 6 to 10 weeks, because when they get bigger, they get more alert. They can process what's going on more, and they're not just asleep all the time. They're actually up and like looking at things and then freaking out. So it probably will get worse.
If I could keep him awake during the day, it'd be fine. It's just like there's nothing for him to do. You can't really just set him down and leave him somewhere. He just sleeps all the time.
Yeah, but I mean, you can set him down next to you. Like I'm telling you, get this Dakatot thing, and like I would be gaming up here and have Nolan just like right there down on the floor in his little Dakatot life raft looking bed, and I'd just be playing video games and he'd just be sleeping. But it's gonna get worse, because when they start getting bored and they notice mom's not around all the time, and then they just want to cry for nothing, that's when it's like, damn.
That's what cartoons are for.
Yeah.
What's the first cartoon you're going to put him on?
He's already watched some SpongeBob just because that's what was on in the hospital. So,
okay.
He was technically born to diners, drive-ins, and dives because Erica refused to turn it off. So
the souffle!
He's going to grow up like Guy Fieri, pretty much.
Congratulations on a Guy Fieri baby.
You know what? There's worse babies to have. Guy Fieri's out here raising a shitload of money for people and
Guy Fieri's the man.
Drives a sweet car.
If he is anything like Guy Fieri, you got a real winner on your hands.
And I'll be living in Flavortown.
Hell yeah.
So,
has Erica watched the Somebody Feed Phil, I think it's called, show on Netflix? It's with Bill Rosenthal.
I'm familiar with it, but I haven't seen it.
They have the best, most like captivating just Netflix posters. You kind of see it's always like something super awesome and looks super good, and I'm just like, I almost want to click it, but I just don't like cooking shows.
You're paralyzed by choice. There's like so much to watch, and you don't know what to do first, so it ends up just as a clusterfuck.
Yeah, you got to just find a show to rewatch.
Shit, yeah.
I've been rewatching Community, God tier. I fucking love it. It's so funny and so well written. And also Breaking Bad. John has never seen it all the way through. So we're doing an episode a day, limiting it to that.
One a day. It's going to take you like 2 months.
Yep, we got time. Got nothing but
There
time.
will be a day where you both wake up hungover as dick and you watch like 10 episodes.
Potentially.
Hey,
John's not like that. He's too ADD. He's like, I need to do something outside or something weird.
Wow, if you're calling him ADD,
Well, he just doesn't like to watch things. He's boring.
Smithers, I will say you were right about Parks and Rec. How the first season is like you don't even have to watch it. It's okay, but you could definitely skip forward to the second season. Second season is fucking hilarious.
my recommendation is always start with season or episode 1 of season 2. Then when you get through it and you want some more, go back and rewatch season 1, and then you can pick it up and for the billionth time rewatch that. So
I just finished the MRI guy episode where she goes on the date. Nope, goes on the date with the MRI guy, and he's like, "Just sit still. I told you to sit still."
Will Arnett, they were actually married at the time that they were shooting that, and then later on, Amy Poehler married Nick Kroll.
Was she
married Nick Kroll?
Mm-hmm.
The dude
married now. Yeah.
Was she Poehler? Poehler. Was she pregnant in those episodes?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I know she's got kids.
She does have kids, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she has Archie Arnett and Abel Arnett.
Yeah, so she has Will Arnett. So that would have been before she got married to Nick Kroll. But
in that MRI episode, Kelly was like, she's pregnant right there. I didn't even call it. She's like, she's definitely pregnant. So she was pregnant with Phil Arnett's kid right there in that episode.
You call him Phil Arnett?
What's his name?
Will Arnett.
Phil Arnett.
I'm gonna let it slide because I'm really sleep deprived. But pregnant girls that have had kids or pregnant women love to point out like she's pregnant.
Dude, I did that on purpose, Bricketto. I'm gonna start mispronouncing all the actors' names.
That's just a dad thing to do. That's a dad thing to do.
That is a dad thing to do.
My dad always fucks up athletes' names, and I know he knows them, but he always fucks them up on purpose. And I'm just like, all right, Dad, come on, DB.
Father, there's something you can get away with now. So
yeah, just botching names.
Yes. So we're going to keep this really short this week because I don't have the energy to do this for too long.
That's another thing you can do as a dad. Because I said so.
That, or I can just be like, sorry, I can't come hang out. I got stuff to do with the baby. You got to see the baby.
You got to see the baby.
Yeah.
I saw a picture. He was breathtaking.
He is breathtaking. But on that note, let's just fall right into it.
News to us.
I literally just put all this shit together, so please forgive me if I don't really know what's going on. But something I am familiar with is that as first reported by Chuckload of Comics at Mainframe Comic Con 2.0, the story's getting picked up all over the place, and everybody's crediting Chuck, and I can't be happier for him. So that's very cool. But Dana DeLorenzo, who you would recognize from Ash vs. Evil Dead, and Ray Santiago, the guy with the big hair, they're both talking now, saying that they think they can get Bruce Campbell to come back to do another season of Ash vs. Evil Dead, and I am here for it. If you're bored out there and you're like fully just can't find anything to watch, Ash vs. Evil Dead, it's the right mixture of funny, very gory, and stupid. And Bruce Campbell is just so charismatic. I would watch him, make eggs in the morning.
Are these movies or is it a TV series?
It was a 25-minute long TV series. I think there were 3 seasons, and they're trying to get picked up for season 4, which at this point, everybody has a streaming service. HBO Max could come in and do it, or, I guess Disney's not going to do it probably, but Netflix or Amazon could pick it up. Definitely Hulu. So we'll see.
So AMC dropped Ash vs. Evil Dead. They just
it was not AMC. It was Stars, I believe.
It was Stars.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys know how much I love campy horror, and this completely fits that bill. So check that out if you get bored. We got a little update this week on AMC theaters, and they are the official quote is, "We cannot guarantee that we will recover as rapidly as other industries, or that we will recover as rapidly as others within the industry due to our strong footprint and densely populated areas." So basically, they focus in major metro areas like Chicago and surrounding, as opposed to Alamo Drafthouse or Regal or whatever else. Like Chicago is going to be on lockdown longer than the rest of Illinois. So that's obviously a double punch in the dick for AMC. At this point, somebody's going to have to buy them. All I know is that they need to stop spamming me with emails or like notifications on my phone, because I'm not going to use your streaming service. I already have a billion streaming services and you don't offer anything.
And they owe me $25. They didn't give me back my $25 for March, and they closed all their theaters like March 7th or something when the pandemic was starting to spread.
I hate to say it, you're never going to get that $25 back.
Oh, I'll get it back. I'll get it back.
Okay. I mean, we've talked at length about this, and I don't need to get into the finance about it anymore. But
another dad thing to do is to go after that $25 relentlessly.
And it's gone.
And it's gone. I need to buy diapers.
Somebody needs to buy this, though, and I don't want it to be Amazon or Disney or Comcast. I'm thinking like Elon Musk buys it and turns movie theaters into something that's like super cool and something that nobody thought of, like robot butlers and butt massagers and shit. That's what I want.
That's an interesting
pivot.
Do
you think he'd make everything like too automatic where he wouldn't be hiring as many people, you know, because theaters are notorious for hiring like a younger generation of kids, you know, like 16-year-olds, first job and shit, which is a great thing.
And that's extremely elderly people as well.
Yeah. Even with Amazon, I think I mentioned this before. I'm afraid that if theaters do come back, which I don't think they really will. I think if they do, like if Amazon were to pick them up or whoever, they're going to get rid of just the unnecessary like kid at the concession thing where you're going to have people being able to just walk up, grab what they need, swipe, and they're good, you know?
I think that's kind of already a trend, though. I mean, if you think about the McDonald's restaurants, you know, that was a staple of high school kids getting jobs forever. And now there's kiosks where you order everything and there's just people preparing it. I don't necessarily, this might accelerate it, but I'm not seeing that it's going to be, you know, it's inevitable anyways. So my brain is fucking fried.
Yeah.
Bye-bye, brain.
Hey, Joe, I think my mustache is worth more than $25, though. I mean, look at this thing.
I'll give you about $350.
It's pretty brutal.
Yeah. I kind of didn't want you around my newborn.
He's just like, can I hold him?
Motherfucker.
Can we just hold him?
Are you familiar with the Eisner Award nominees?
Nominees? No. It's probably Tom King. I think Dustin Nguyen actually. No, Jeff Lemire got 2, I think.
So the best limited series is Ascender, or one of the nominees. They haven't picked the winners of this yet, but
nice.
I was just going to flip them through this. I've obviously fallen off the face of the earth for the last few days, but if you're interested in picking up new comics, there's a lot of stuff out here that's best limited series, best new series, and stuff like that. So like I see a lot of Once and Future is something that I was reading from Boom Studios. It's a really easy to read, written by Kieran Gillen. Doctor Doom is starting up a new series. Obviously, the limited series is something, you know, if you don't want a big dedication, you don't want to have to go to the comic book shop every 2 weeks or every month. You can just probably pick up the trade. So the best limited series is Ascender by Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen, which, Mark, I think you and I both recommend.
Yeah.
Ghost Tree, which is something I have not read. Little Bird, which is an image book. Naomi by Brian Michael Bendis. That may be worth picking up. And Sentient, which is another Jeff Lemire book. So he's on there twice.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Pick those up.
I love Jeff Lemire shit.
Jeff Lemire, he's an amazing writer. On that note, Mark, I'm going to let you talk about this because all I've seen is a headline, but it looks like DC has fully dropped any other outside publisher, namely Diamond, which was the biggest comic book distributor in the world, and now they're just going to do it on their own. So we talked about this a little bit, but have you heard anything about how this is going to work? Are they just going to start printing their own shit?
I mean, well, first off, it's a huge hit to Diamond. DC is 30% of the whole market. And I mean, that's 30% of their business. So them losing DC, the second biggest publisher, they are behind Marvel. Still, that's a huge hit on them. So what DC is doing is, if you're involved with the comic book community at all, everyone kind of has their own opinions about Diamond and why this is happening. But from the headlines and from what I've read in articles, DC supposedly gave Diamond like a short notice and then basically they were in talks to renegotiate a contract, and Diamond sent them over something. And while I guess they were in the limbo of waiting to hear from DC just out of nowhere just said, okay, this is we're terminating our contract currently with you guys. And so that just fucking is a power haymaker blow to the stomach of Diamond. What DC is doing, I guess, is now they have two smaller publishers, one being the first one being Lunar Distribution and the other one being UCS Comic Distributors. Nobody really knows much about these two companies. One thing that was brought up is I believe it's or it could be Lunar. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on it. But one of them is actually Midtown Comics in New York. And if you follow comics, you know that Midtown Comics is like one of the biggest comic book stores there is. It's in the heart of Times Square in New York City. So they are one of those distributors. I believe they might be UCS.
I didn't even know that they had a distribution plant
Yeah. So we'll see how this goes. They have these smaller two new distributors, and so far DC got their books out fine, I believe, the last 2 weeks, and they're the only ones shipping things out right now. So it's still not a great look for Diamond, in my opinion. And we'll just see how it goes, because my thought is if DC was afraid of using these two distributors, these smaller ones, and if they were happy with Diamond would have made a deal with them. DC would have came with something, and I guarantee you there could have been some negotiating, but this is huge for Diamond to lose DC. So I think this is more of DC just saying, hey, we're better off anyways without these guys. Let's go do it with these two small distribution companies and make it happen.
So Diamond has had the distribution rights for DC for 25 years, which is obviously a very long time.
Yeah.
Back then things were a little different. So obviously as we scale up, that's going to change. But the rumors are that one of these little startup distributors is actually owned by DC. I don't know if that's true or not. Joe's in the chat and he says DC books now ship before Marvel and indie books. So I guess that's good. I don't know. What else we got? Brick, how's that tea? What are you drinking?
Kombucha green tea. Kind of tastes like a little bit of the first flavor of bubble gum when you first kind of sip it down. Maybe it's mixed with something else. I don't know. Maybe it's acid.
I like cold kombucha. I like the actual carbonated kombucha. I like that.
Yeah, no, it's green tea. This is not my episode, guys. Talk about comics, talk about being dads. I mean, I have a dog, so I totally get it, but
I mean, it's basically
dude, Brick, you had
noises and shit for no reason. That's basically like Remy.
Apples to apples.
You should read Berserk. You need to read this manga, and it reads backwards, so it's like your brain will probably pick it up faster. It's just fucking everything's backwards. It's perfect for your ADD.
Like your notes, it's just like a clusterfuck of nothingness.
Yeah, I just get it right off the bat because it just doesn't make any sense, but it just comes clear to me because I'm a psychopath.
Yeah,
nice.
There's a lot of lore with this manga series,
and now I'm sold.
It's like Game of Thrones type stuff, but fucking anime where everyone's just getting chopped in half and screaming. It's really good.
You brought me a bunch of baby clothes. You should have brought me the book.
I didn't fit it. I have 40 more pages in this 300-page fucking omnibus type collection of, I think it's like the first 10 little
300
manga.
pages I'm out.
We'll give you 2 years to read it and see if you can go back. All right, let's get back to TV and film then. Brick, you were a Mandalorian fan, yeah?
I don't think I actually even finished it.
What the fuck, man? I tried so hard to bring you into this conversation.
I know. I literally think I didn't finish the last episode.
It's good, man. The last episode was fucking awesome. It was action-packed and huge. And
I just kept...
Gus Fring, maniac.
Yeah, I just kept... feel like it was the same thing over and over again.
Okay.
Mandalorian?
Well, the first like 5 episodes, I was like, oh, I don't know, the Mandalorian. Now let's go somewhere else. Let's save someone else. Okay, here we go. Next planet.
All right, that's fine. You don't have to watch it.
I'm not a Star Wars guy.
All right. Well, Jon Favreau says that principal photography was completed before everything shut down because of COVID. So they're actually still on the right timeline to release the second season starting in October, which is big news. The direct quote is, "We were lucky enough to finish photography before lockdown, thanks to technology. Thanks to how technology forward Lucasfilm and Industrial Light and Magic are, we've been able to do all the visual effects and editing, post-production remotely through blah, 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 blah." So that's good news. We'll have more TV.
That's good.
I also saw... Go ahead.
I think I left off after the Bill Burr episode. I think that was where I...
like 3 episodes left then.
I think I still got some time left. Yeah. So maybe I'll check. I'll go back and check that out. I have nothing else to do.
You should. It's really good. I lost my train of thought though. I did read a headline. I didn't read the entire article, saying that the UK is starting to ramp back up for film production. So New Zealand's already ramped up. Germany's talking about it as well. So it'd be nice if we could start shooting new stuff that isn't just
absolutely
really
keep shooting Batman
shows. I don't know where they were shooting Batman. Actually, they might have been in Europe somewhere. Okay.
London.
So yeah, we'll see. Okay, last news. What's up?
I just said London in a weird voice, though. Is it?
Thanks. You're really adding to this.
A lot of flavor.
You can't be silent for that long. I get it. Okay. The Tenet saga goes on. Every week, I feel like there's a new headline. Somebody's doing a really good job with PR for this movie because there's always some dumb headline out there. This week, it's that Kenneth Branagh, who's obviously acting in the film, is so confused by the script that he doesn't even know if he's the villain. So this is just another entry into a look at how crazy Christopher Nolan is. I'm starting to lean, like we talked about this before, it's either going to be really good in Inception style or it's going to be really bad in Interstellar style. This news pushes me towards the Interstellar side, where you get the shitty ending and it's just not probably going to be great.
I don't know, because I think the one thing that Interstellar was lacking, obviously, it's just how the story was, or the action shots and the explosions and all that. That was what Inception was. And I think Tenet is going to have all that kind of stuff. So I would lean more towards the Inception side, because I think there will be a lot of kung fu, martial arts, explosions, blowing up fucking buildings and airplanes and shit like that. So
is Hans Zimmer doing the score?
No.
So the guy, so that new movie Dune that's coming out, Hans Zimmer already told whoever that director was that he'll do the score for that. And then Christopher Nolan actually came to Hans Zimmer, of course, because he does all of his fucking scores. And he was like, sorry, I already have prior obligations with this movie. But it's a Swedish director. Wait, is that what they're called? Composer, not director. So yeah, as long as they're not from America, I'm sure they're going to put out some awesome
Ludwig Göransson.
Do we have any good composers from America?
What's his face?
Like score wise, not just
from 9 Inch Nails. Trent Reznor. He scored a ton of movies and he's really good.
Yeah. Okay.
The other guy is a DJ and I can't remember his name. Junkie XL.
How we doing?
Yeah, it's Howard Doing, actually.
That guy.
Yeah, so I think he's American as well. But
yeah, slaves.
So I don't have any other news, and we said this was going to be a really brief episode. Do you guys have enough info to do like a best man or anything?
I have a best woman.
Okay, let me.
Best.
We the best.
Worst.
The worst. She's the worst person in the world. Huge skank, terrible, but thank you.
Let me just say that if you say that Erica is the best woman alive for having my baby, I'm going to cut off your mic.
Erica! There you go. For having your child, Maxwell.
I mean, that was obviously the layup for me, but I wasn't going to go that route. Like I said, I'm so sleep deprived. I can't even. You know what? Worst people alive are the people that kept me at the hospital all day yesterday for no fucking reason, so that a doctor could come in and look at Erica for 2 minutes after we waited for 6 hours and say, "Okay, you can go now."
Mm-hmm.
Doctors. I agree with that. That's baloney and malarkey.
You know what you might have to do, Smithers, is I think some of the best advice I can give right now for you is take turns. You go sleep in the guest room and you wake up 4 hours later, and then you take that turn if he needs to be fed.
I took him for a few hours this morning so that Erica could actually get some sleep. And
yeah,
like I'm fine functioning on very little sleep, so it'll be all right. I promise next time we talk, I will have slept a little more. I'll get a couple more hours in and I'll be all right. But
You're dreaming, dog. Not in real
Yeah,
life.
it might be.
Like you're daydreaming because you can't sleep.
honestly, dude, I'm just gonna put a saddle on Remy and let him ride Remy around, and Remy will take care of him. He can go live in the woods now.
There you go. He seems he can forge for himself.
Honestly, I think so. He can almost open his eyes all the way.
Lit.
Yeah. Mark, do you have a best man or anything?
I really don't.
Okay.
I have a worse man, the guy who rear-ended my freaking car.
Yeah, tell us about
Really
that. What
not.
happened?
I was turning in. It's not the good story. I just turned left into a left turn lane, and then he was going like 60 and just crushed the back of my car. And then poor Khaleesi wasn't wearing a seatbelt because who puts a seatbelt on a dog?
I
So
do.
Okay.
Yeah, she was fine. She just sat in the back of the car the rest of the trip. She was like, I ain't about that front seat anymore. So now I gotta just go through the hassle of going through insurance and BS.
Is it total, do you think? Or
No, my car is drivable. I drove home. It's like his car's totaled. His car was fucked up. It was a 2001 Nissan.
Did you cut in front of him?
Not
Like,
really,
Like
kind
you
of.
just
Not
coming
really.
in hot, and then you just decided to get in the left turn lane. Like,
Well, I got into the left turn lane, and then I slowed down almost to a complete stop, and then I just got absolutely crushed. So
yeah, it sounds like that was his fault, but
yeah, it is what it is. I was actually like, I got hit, and then I wasn't like. Usually, you get like that heart race after you like get hit, but I was like, didn't even feel that at all. I was just like, ah, fuck. And then I first of all thought about Khaleesi because she just went flying into the front, and I was like, oh no, my poor little princess queen. But came home and made six.
Okay, I'm happy for both of you, but
Grazie.
be carefully. Maybe start leaving her at home when you drive around.
Yeah, it was. I was going to pick up John from his auto mechanic because his car was not working right.
Is
So
Khaleesi terrified of getting in the car now?
No, she's fine. I don't know where she is, but she's chilling. She
Usually
she
it's-
crushed probably nothing.
If Remy like gets spooked by something, he'll avoid it like the plague. He's terrified of plastic bags and shit like that. I don't really understand.
Moose hates anything blowing in the wind. Like if it's a bag or a cup or anything. If it's trash, if it's litter, he fucking loses his shit.
Yeah. So Khaleesi's the same way.
On Mark's mustache.
Yeah, the stash is.
Seems like people are not a
powerful.
fan at the moment, which means you need to keep growing it.
You know why I'm doing it is because I guess I'm a follower and my friends were giving me shit and they're like, dude, nice facial hair. I mean, this would be the time to grow it out. You loser, way to grow out your facial hair. And I'm just like, fine. I usually don't because of this mustache, but you know what? F you guys. I'm doing it anyways.
You know, fathers
here it
don't
is.
usually turn into peer pressure, by the way. So
Yeah,
you need to get a little
seriously.
more
Listen to
mature.
Mark just caving under peer pressure. Good lord.
No, Lynn, when you grow up, you do whatever your friends tell you to do.
Great idea.
Yeah, you go jump off that bridge. All right, let's do recommendations and then we can get out of here because I'm starving. I will kick this off. I started watching a show called The Misery Index. So you guys in the past have talked about Impractical Jokers. You guys did a movie. I think I was in Texas that week for Tofty's wedding. But basically, it's the four guys from that show. And if you remember The Good Place, Jamila Al-Jamil, she was Tahani in the show. So she's the host. It's basically like a game show. And what they do is they pull really ridiculous and awkward like headlines and or videos or something like that. And they're like, they get a group of psychologists to rate it from 0 to 100 based on all these criteria to say, here's where it falls on this scale. And it's basically like a guessing game. Like you have to say which of these scenarios is more embarrassing or more traumatizing. And it's like, you accidentally send a nude selfie to your father, or I don't know, something else completely fucked up. And it's funny to me because, you know, the Impractical Joker guys are funny, and also the headlines. It's kind of like Tosh.0 level shit where you're just like, this is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen, but they're basically just talking about it. So it originally aired on TBS and it's on Hulu right now. Second season is coming out soon, so it's been picked up. So obviously people are watching it, but if you're into that kind of stuff, check it out.
Okay. I think I haven't seen anything new on Hulu in a long time.
Well, what are you watching?
So yeah, Community, and I've been diving deep into Community. Great, a second time watching through. There's a lot of different jokes that I didn't catch up on the first time. I I'm just getting to the point where Donald Glover is not in the show anymore. So now I'm like, do I continue to watch it? It was super good before. Okay. It's still definitely serviceable, but it's just not the same. It's not the Darkest Timeline episode where they that was the funniest episode, I think, in my opinion, or the D&D episodes. But speaking of D&D, where are you guys at in D&D? Can I get a quick breakdown? I missed last week's episode.
Boy, Tommy Wee Gnomes is out here murdering everybody. We're currently chasing down, I guess she's the head of a cult, you could say, and she's got some evil magic people with her. We killed one of her sons because he was being a little bitch. And
little bitch boy. Okay.
Now we're in the sewers of Avernus.
Yeah, so we are 6 episodes deep now, I believe. So all the streams are available on Twitch or YouTube. I'm going to try to make it work so that we can have another session this week. If I just watch him for a day and then, at night she can take over. We'll see how that goes. But we got a really good rhythm going, and I feel like we're building a good rapport and working through some problem solving stuff. There were some really good ideas thrown out during last week's session, so I'd like to keep going and not have that, that lull where you kind of forget where you were and what you were doing. So
yeah, that's the whole fun of it. It's the creative energy of like bringing something up kind of weird to Joe, the DM, and being like, you know what, that actually might work for this situation. Roll the dice. That's always fun to kind of just like explore those weird, like gray areas, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah,
hey, Fluffy Fox in the chat. I don't know if you watched episode 6 yet. It's on Twitch, not on YouTube. I actually have to just hit a button and upload it to YouTube. But speaking of Flennis, Doromir actually, I'm not going to spoil it too much, but there was another old lady and Doromir took some action. And it was a Flennis type scenario, and you have to go check that out in episode 6. It was pretty great.
What's Gib? Is Gib dead?
Gib is dead has been replaced by another character, but Will's back in, so we felt like he knows what he's doing well enough that he needs to be around. So
good. Yeah, he's just the veteran.
Hey Smithers, speaking of Impractical Jokers, Max also shares his birthday with Joe Gatto, who turned 44 on June 5th.
Joe's the best one of the Impractical Jokers too.
Yeah,
I think.
Didn't you say Mark Wahlberg as well?
Mark Wahlberg is one too.
There we go. Mark, recommendation for this week?
I do, man. You guys got to check out Rick and Morty season 4. It just ended. Honestly, some of the best episodes I can recall. There were some that were kind of a wash, but there's this episode called The Vat of Acid, and it's one of my favorite episodes I can remember in a while. And just everything that happens in this episode is fucking unbelievable. You have to check it out if you haven't seen season 4 of Rick and Morty.
Like, Rick is already incredibly loathsome, and that episode just like hammers that nail in, and he's just a fucking awful person. So
it's fucking great. Go check it out.
All right, so let's wrap this up so I can go eat and hopefully take a little nap or something.
Yep.
I want to thank you all for tuning in to episode 198. I know it's short. I'm sorry. Next week we'll be back with a review of The King of Staten Island, starring Pete Davidson and Bill Burr and a few other people. Man, I'm blanking on who his mom is in that, but I think it was a big actor.
Where's the Tomei?
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too.
Awesome.
Some of the
trailer
started to drop. It's kind of mixed, but I think that it's got that Apatow flavor to it, so I think that it's probably going to be in our wheelhouse. We'll see how it goes.
What was the last Apatow movie that he made or produced? Is he directing this or did he produce it?
He wrote and directed, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, nice. I love Judd Apatow. He has a very creative mind, and he's got some of my favorite movies of all time.
Absolutely. All right, so let's wrap this up. As always, you can find us on all social media platforms at the Chumpcast. Stay tuned to our Instagram and Twitter for a post about our D&D stream. I really am going to try and get it out there this week. I don't want to take a week off. You can call or text us at 847-920-6107. And until next time.
Short and sweet. Chumps out, motherfuckers. Peace. I'll close this out.